Hey guys, Megan Lynn here, Spiritual Empress. How is everybody? Happy Wednesday? Oh, cool, my vacuum comes tomorrow. Yay! Just wanted to say thank you for all the likes, comments, shares, subscribes. This is something I just wanted to talk about. It's going to be a little bit more personal. I know I've talked about depression and people who are suicidal and things like that on the channel before, but I haven't really told like any of my story about living with CPTSD. I just had an episode. My last one was about exactly a week ago. But the thing is I've had so many of you guys reaching out to me just for like therapy that I kind of want to talk a little bit about it so that you can understand PTSD and then CPTSD because they are different and where CPTSD actually stems from. So just so you guys know, a lot of Aquarians have depression issues, have anxiety issues. It's because their brain goes like this all the time, 20 times a day. And it's also because a lot of Aquariuses have been used and abused. They've been taken advantage of for their humanitarian nature. So all my Aquarian friends, especially the men, have really been ride or die friends for me. I've been the same for them. They could call me at 2 a.m. Where you at? What do you need? It's always been that way with me and Aquarians. I know some can be selfish, but that's been my experience with them. I have met selfish ones before and flaky ones before, but those are like the not so mature Aquarians. But anyway, thank you. Likes, comments, share, subscribe, drop comments below if you want to hear about something else. But since y'all have been freaking harassing me, y'all, I need a therapist. I'm like always the therapist for everybody, and I need therapy because I have gone. I've been going a lot. But I wanted to talk about CPTSD. So this is really funny. I'm finally like okay to talk about it. My dad, he would always ask me like, I don't get it, Megan. Why are you so unhappy? Like, do you think you just had like the worst childhood ever? And I was just like, no, because I want to be respectful. But to be honest, CPTSD starts in childhood. So it rewires your brain during childhood. So it's a complicated form of post-traumatic stress disorder. That's why the C's in front of it. Starts in childhood. So to be honest, if I'm honest now, because now I don't give a shit, and I don't give a shit about, being respectful and whatever, because I did that my whole freaking life and it didn't get me anywhere. No, I didn't. My childhood was very traumatic to me. I grew up with a family who had a different love language than I did. All of them were very, very high fire energy. So I didn't find this out till later on. And I think probably in my early 20s or something, I charted all my family members and everything made sense. Like my sister's a Libra. Can't stand her. She's super selfish, super fiery, super whatever. I go pull her chart. There's like Aries, Leo, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. Like a lot of Aries energy. My mom's an Aries with Leo energy. It's like, it's so weird. So it's a lot of fire energy. My dad's Sagittarius. And then, I don't know if I did him, but it's all fire, fire, fire. I'm surrounded by fire. My chart is air. And then I have Venus and Pisces. So the way that I love is completely different from the way that they love. So me growing up in a confrontational household, like crazy shit would happen all the time. My mom and my stepdad were always fighting. My mom was always, I think, just very stressed out. So I never knew what mood she was going to come home in. And that gave me like a lot of anxiety. I didn't know if I was going to get, she had a good day at work mom or she had a bad day at work mom. And then it was kind of taken out on the household. So me being as sensitive as I am, I pull in on other people's emotions really easily. So as you guys can guess, with fighting and confrontation and stuff like that, I spent a lot of fucking time in my room, okay? I was different. I was focused on school. I read a lot. They would think that I go to bed like really early and that I needed a lot of sleep. No, I didn't. I went to my room at like 7 o'clock at night. Like I'd eat dinner and go back to my room at 7 o'clock at night, turn off the lights. I'd be up to like 11 listening to music and they just thought I was going to bed really early. Like I wasn't, I was hiding. So I think about like 13, I was crying one time because they had been arguing again. Also, my stepdad would just randomly disappear and like not tell my mom like that he went out of town with his brother. He would just leave. And so I had a lot of that, like her being stressed out, him disappearing, them fighting, kind of drama. I wanted them to get a divorce for like forever because I was so fucking sick of it. Like when they finally did, I was like, thank God. But that's kind of like household I grew up in. Now, if you want to ask if I had a good childhood, emotionally, no. Materialistically, very thankful we had more than we needed. That was all great, but emotionally, for me, it was really traumatic. So, plus I wouldn't fight. Like, I was never disrespectful. I think that kind of intimidated my parents and my family because I could control myself. I was very introspective, and I can keep my cool in stressful situations, which came in handy when I was in healthcare. But so no. And then I also had different expectations put on me than my sibling had put on her. So it was kind of like when you label the child like the perfect child and then the other kid's the bad one or the rebel one. I was like the not perfect child, but like the good kid, right? So I was over ambitious in school. I was over ambitious when it came to grades. And I was harder on myself than they ever could be. So like when they came down on me, like punishment never fit the crime. Really, I didn't do anything. I would like maybe not turn in a homework assignment, but I had like a 94 in a class, and they just send these progress reports home like every 2 weeks. And if I had a missing homework assignment that was worth like 10 points or something like that, my mom would ground me for the next 2 weeks till the next progress report. So I was always grounded. And I'd be like, Mom, I have a 94 in the class. And she's like, well, if you turned in this assignment, you'd have a 95. And I'm like, that's not how points work. That is not how that works. Like, and you're not giving any leeway for a kid to just be normal. Like, and I wasn't a kid. I was a teenager at that point. But that's when I finally like told her, I was like, Mom, I want to go home. She's like, what are you talking about? You are home. And I was bawling, you guys. I must have been having a panic attack. After some fighting, and I was like, this is not my freaking home. Like, I knew from very young age that I was not home. My home is a completely different planet, y'all. So anyway, that's kind of like the environment I grew up in. Now, my life has always been like this. When you have CPTSD, your brain kind of rewires and kind of goes into a bit of a defense mode, but the gateways in there switch too chemically. So my life has always been like this. When I got married, it settled down for a little bit because things were really stable for a little bit. So I was fine at first. This is what I didn't realize. All of a sudden, I got very, very depressed, and I didn't know why. And I had my daughter probably like 6 months prior. So I figured like, oh, it's like postpartum depression or something like that. And I went to the doctor, and they're like, postpartum doesn't kick in 6 months later, but they're like, we can get you on antidepressants. I said, I don't want medication. And they're like, well, I mean, you can try therapy, or if you want to. I was like, look, I can't get out of bed. Like, I don't understand what's going on. I don't know this feeling. So then what I did was I ended up putting myself in therapy. I went to therapy. Therapy didn't help because they didn't help because basically anytime I go to therapy, the therapist is like, Megan, you answer all your own questions. Like, you're super self-aware and you're super logical. And then I'm like, well, if I'm fine, how come I feel like shit? Like, I don't understand. So I kind of went through a thing again. Once I split with my husband, though, I had weird living situations for a while. So again, it was like a roller coaster. I got into a really, really, actually, that would have been a good relationship. I got into a quick relationship. It was kind of a quick fling because we moved really fast. So then again, I was out of that because we were living together. I got out of that. Then I got into another really, really, this was my last relationship, you guys, for like 6 years off and on. 7 years off and on? I don't know. Really, really traumatic relationship with a narcissist. It was really, really bad. Get out of that relationship, move again, start a really good job. Now, here's the thing, you guys. CPTSD, this is when it kicks in. And this is what I didn't notice before me and my husband, when we were like in a good spot and things were really stable. I didn't know CPTSD, it kicks in after the roller coaster stops. Because your brain now, the gateways operate on roller coaster movements. So when the roller coaster stops, your brain doesn't know what to freaking do. So I get out of my really traumatic relationship with my narcissist. I'm feeling great, get my own place. I have a great job. I'm making great money, whatever. All of a sudden, I get severe anxiety. Severe anxiety. Now, I am a very sure of myself person. I know I'm a capable person, but I had no idea what this was. I was having constant panic attacks. I was feeling very paranoid all the time, like everybody was watching me. I was feeling just like I'm shaking. I couldn't do normal things. Like I couldn't like write. I couldn't, and which was a problem because I was in property management. So that was starting to kind of like affect my work a little bit, because I would be calling my grandma before I went to work, and I'd be like, I don't know what this is. Like, I'm shaking, I'm nervous, I'm paranoid, I don't know what's going on. I have to go to work in like 15 minutes, and I'm just like, I have this extreme feeling of like paranoia. I don't know what it is. So, I end up, and this is all like 8 months after. So I was fine for 8 months. I was fine, and it kicks in. So the thing with PTSD is that happens after a certain traumatic event. So that's why a lot of people who, obviously are in the military have PTSD. CPTSD actually happens. It starts your gateways in your brain when you're a child. And so that's what happened to me. I wasn't aware of that until I went to therapy, and they're like, yeah, this is what you have. We're surprised you're not on medication. I'm surprised I'm not on medication. I'm going to try till the day I die to not get on medication. But if you guys do have it and you are depressed, I suggest having friends you can talk to. If you can't do therapy, it helps, but it doesn't really help me. If you have to get on antidepressants or stuff like that, I highly suggest it. But that's how CPTSD works. CPTSD is like once you're not on a roller coaster, your brain freaks out because chemically it's different now. So, get a pet. I do suggest getting a pet. That's what my dog is. My dog has extreme anxiety as well. So what that actually does is if you rescue an animal that has anxiety, if you can handle that, I'm not saying go out and get a pet that has anxiety. But what they do is they kind of keep you on track with like a routine. And to be honest, my dog is he was so much work to train, and I got him just because he had the anxiety, and I knew that if he got returned, I just knew he was mine. But I had to put a lot of work in with him. But the thing about his anxiety that's so great for me is that I have to be very aware of where my energy is at all times, because he picks up on my energy and it'll stress him out, and he's already a very like nervous dog. So that's why I have him for that reason. I'd suggest getting a pet, something you can talk to. I know that sounds mental, but it's actually really psychologically healthy to talk to something. And then also, look up coping mechanisms, things like that, and also get friends. Get somebody you can talk to. There are hotlines you can call as well. A lot of times just talking through it. So if you have family members you feel comfortable talking to, but if you can, there's also like websites where you can, and forums, you can meet other people and then just talk to them on, because a lot of times what I find with people is they just need to talk about stuff. If you're isolating and you're by yourself and you're not keeping some sort of routine's really important, then it's going to make things a lot worse. So anyway, just thought I'd do a little rant today, just so you guys know. I know I help a lot of people and it's really great, but like I actually have issues. So and I'm very upfront about this. Like I feel like a lot of people, I'm very upfront about this too, even like dating now. Like I will tell people right away that I have it. And I'm like, it's not going to affect you. It's not going to be detrimental to you. I'm just letting you know, like sometimes I'm going to have a panic attack. And then, what I do with a panic is, so if I have a panic attack, I have to get my hair dryer. That's pretty much my fix for that. But thank you. Likes, comments, shares, subscribes, anything like that. And I love you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye.